I just signed up for a gym membership. It's a place where you least expect to find a ghost. So here's 3 stories. Grab a blanket, turn off your lights. Hauntings that happen when you're exercising. The locker room. This isn't much of a ghost story, more of a very creepy and possibly more to it story. I will do my best to describe the layout of the girls' locker room at my old middle school. The main door was in the gym, and when you opened the door, there was a hallway directly in front of you. It was about 20 to 25 feet in length. At the end of the hallway led right to the main hallway of the school. I have no idea why they did this, but this was so. And to the left was a smaller hallway that led to yet another door. That door led to some stairs, and you are in the locker room. The school was built, gosh, I really don't know. Originally, it was a high school. I think it was built around 1950s or the 60s, if not a bit earlier. Now, it is the middle school, but most everything is still the same as it was back then, that it was first built. I mean, the wooden chairs in the auditorium weren't replaced until 2010. My personal experience happened when I was in 6th grade. I was in the middle of gym class when I needed to go to the bathroom. I asked the teacher and she let me go. I was by myself in the locker room. In the locker room, there was about 3 rows, each separated by a line of lockers. At the end of these rows, there's a doorway that leads to the unused showers. The light is usually off in there, so it kind of looked like an empty pit that could take your soul. Anyways, I went down there and was instantly aware of just how lone I was in there. Unfortunately, the stalls were like 2 feet away from the pit, and I rushed into one. The whole time, I couldn't help but feel that something was in there. Not evil, but not good either. Just kind of like watching and waiting sort of thing. As soon as I was done, I rushed to wash my hands and practically flew out of there. Forward about a year, and I was talking to one of my friends, C, in gym class. I mentioned the experience of being alone in the locker room, which is something that never happened again. When she too said that something similar had happened to her. She had gone down there alone and nearly freaked because of the feeling that something was there. I asked around a bit and I got around the same answer. The feeling seemed to only go away when you had someone else with you. Well, me and my friend, being interested in the paranormal, thought it was a great idea to try to talk to whomever was in the locker room. So we got another person and walked down there. We tried to talk, but for the first time the feeling got really bad to the point where I tried to almost hide around the corner. But soon, more people came down to see what we were doing, and the feeling left. Nothing happened at all. I went through those horrible years, mostly forgetting about it, until I was in 7th or 8th grade summer. My mom's friend, my friend, and I were driving around our county looking at old and supposedly haunted places. As we were driving home, my mom's friend, who was very knowledgeable about these sort of things, pointed to the middle school and told me that she had heard on many occasions that there was one ghost in the locker rooms. I sat up and asked which locker room. She said she wasn't sure. She also said that there were reports of shadows in the woods behind the school. I knew I could believe that, although I never saw them, because C and I always had to pass this one area when walking laps that seemed darker than the rest of the woods. Plus, about 500 or 600 feet away, in a nearby meadow, some classmates of mine told us that there was a gravestone back there. I never got to see it, at least not yet, and I don't know if they were messing around or not, but I thought I should add it in the story. Anyways, sorry for no actual ghost, but maybe next time. Thank you for reading. Health Club, Zumba Ghost and Mirror. This happened to me about 2 weeks ago at the gym, and I still can't truly comprehend what I saw. I have been faithfully going to a Zumba class at the gym since January. For the most part, the same people go, especially the Wednesday night class. I go to other classes, but this incident happened on this night. The studio where the Zumba class takes place has mirrors all around, so you can pretty much see everyone else. I tend to stand in the front row so I can see the instructor well. When the class began, everything seemed as usual. The instructor started the class and her upbeat routines. My eyes were focused on the instructor, but once in a while, I would look straight ahead in front of me at the mirror. About the third song, I looked up in front of me and something caught my attention. I saw this person I had never seen before, about 2 rows straight in back of me. She was not there when I looked into the mirror last, which was not that long ago. I thought maybe she had snuck in. New people joined the class, so it shouldn't have surprised me this person looked different. For starters, she had the body of a girl about 12 or 13, but her head and face were very unique. They seemed larger than normal, kind of almost square-shaped. And while she was doing the Zumba routines, her face had a far-off look. She had long brown hair and her eyes were dark. She kind of looked like Native American or Latina. She had no reaction or expression on her face at all, and just moved back and forth, back and forth. Rarely I see children or preteens in the class. I continued the Zumba moves and glanced again at this girl. She looked very lost and then stopped moving, but still looking straight ahead. Then, we did a move where we turned around, and when I did turn, this girl was not there behind me. She was gone. When I faced the mirror a second later, she was not there. I looked around, but even if she had left, I would have seen her run out the door or seen the door slowly close behind her. The door was shut. No sign anyone had left. I then got this really creepy feeling and the shivers. After class, I made a mention to the lady standing next to her in that row. I said something like, I wonder where that young girl went who was standing by you." One of the women simply said, "What young girl? There was no young girl here. I have been going to this gym for years, and I've continued to go to this and other Zumba classes. I have never seen her again, nor had I ever seen her prior to that. After a while, you start seeing the same people over and over again at the gym, but not her. It was odd. Just the fact that this girl did not seem normal made me wonder if she was a ghost. But why would I only see her through the mirror? It didn't look like she liked the Zumba class. I know our gym was recently remodeled, but I don't know any history of anyone dying there. I have no idea what I saw. I've seen apparitions before, but it's been a few months." Ghosts at the YMCA. When my family moved here from Nebraska, it was the beginning of summer vacation. I was a hyperactive first grader then, and Mom didn't want me in the way of unpacking, so she enrolled me in the day camp program for kids from grade 1 through grade 5 through the YMCA, where counselors took us around to parks and swimming at the lake on a daily basis. I had 2 friends there, Nikki, who was older than me and the leader of the group, and Tracy, who was younger than me and would follow Nikki and me everywhere. I was sort of a sidekick to Nikki, the one who always stood behind her saying, "Yeah," whenever she was in a spat with another kid. So anyways, on to the ghost part. Everyone told us, never use the bathroom alone. It's okay to go to the ones in the locker rooms by yourself, but never, under any circumstances, go to the one by the front door by yourself. Same thing goes for the ones by the computer room. Being little kids, we followed this rule pretty closely, most of the time. There was one time, though, when we were changing from our clothes into our bathing suits getting ready to go to the lake, and it was just the 3 of us in there when it started. We were all mostly naked and searching our bags for our suits, so we were pretty much trapped. There was a loud wham noise. We looked at each other, shrugged uneasily, and went back to searching for our suits. Then we heard the same noise come again, accompanied by a yelping quack, like someone stepping on a duck. We froze, staring at each other with wide eyes. The blinding lights that they always put in public restrooms flickered and then dimmed, taking on a yellow color. There was a sound like someone walking across tile, and then the lights went out altogether. We screamed, grabbed our clothes or beach towels, and went tearing out of there, running down the hall in our underwear, holding shirts over ourselves. The counselors were not pleased with us and were debating whether to call our parents or not, but we kept insisting that there was really something in the bathroom. They went to have a look, and we trailed apprehensively behind, but the lights were on and there were no strange noises, just clothes scattered across the floor. People who said that one of the downstairs playroom was haunted. Little kids weren't allowed there because there was all this indoor playground equipment that you had to be a certain height to use, so I didn't see that room until I got re-enrolled the following year. There was a door joining it to one of the pools, so it always felt damp and kind of moldy. At first I thought that was where the stories came from, but then one day after everyone had left, I ran back for something, and toys were falling out of the toy box every time I turned my back, even though it wasn't full all the way. The building always had a kind of oppressive air around it. The adults say it's just from the mold and damp, which they have been trying to get rid of ever since a pipe broke a few years ago. But the kids all believe it's a ghost.